10 Things You Didn't Know About Enzo Ferrari. The man, Enzo Ferrari, forever changed the world of racing in sports cars. The name Ferrari conjures the color of speed, a burst of red flashing by the eyes. Of course, this was no accident, as there was a man behind the creation of the machine that is now symbolic of speed, luxury, and success. His name was Enzo Anselmo Ferrari, and he changed the way the world looks at four-wheeled vehicles. Enzo was born on February 18, 1898, in Modena, Italy. He grew up in a brutal era, especially for an automaker. Luckily, his decision to be part of motorsports would, later on, succeed and push the envelope of both racing as a sport and the development of performance road cars beyond generations. That said, here are some interesting facts about Enzo Ferrari. 1. He fought in World War I. Enzo Anselmo Ferrari is a brilliant mind who played a significant role in the success of the automotive industry and is responsible for designing some of the world's most remarkable cars. Despite his reputation as an accomplished racer and manufacturer, he did not come from a racing background. In fact, he served in the Italian Army's 3rd Mountain Artillery Regiment during World War I, renowned for their mountain combat skills and distinguished for their efforts fighting alongside the Alpini Corps. Although Ferrari survived the war, his father and brother were not as fortunate. Both succumbed to a disastrous flu outbreak that ravaged Italy at the time, not from battle. Moreover, Enzo himself fell ill during the 1918 flu pandemic, and his life was nearly claimed by the disease. Fortunately, he was later released from the army and sent home to recuperate. 2. He lost his son Dino at the age of 24. Enzo Ferrari's son, Alfredino, also known as Dino, was born in 1932 and was being groomed to take over his father's business. Unfortunately, he passed away before that could happen. While Dino was alive, he proposed developing a 1.5-liter DOHC V6 engine for F2 racing cars. Following his son's death, Enzo named the Dino line of cars after him and utilized the V6 engine that Dino had suggested. The Dino model is regarded as one of Ferrari's most exceptional cars. Tragically, Dino died from muscular dystrophy when he was just 24 years old. Enzo was devastated by the loss of his son and frequently visited his grave. However, Enzo had another son, Piero, who eventually became Ferrari's vice president. As of June 2021, Piero's net worth was reported to be $4.7 billion. 3. His father was not a racer, but he inspired Enzo into building cars. Enzo Ferrari did not grow up in a family with a racing background. His father, Alfredo Ferrari Sr., hailed from a family of grocers. However, Alfredo's love for metalwork drove him to establish a metal workshop while Enzo was still a child. Enzo was fascinated by his father's craftsmanship and spent much of his time watching him work in the workshop. He acquired crucial metalworking skills from his father, which he later utilized in his automotive ventures. 4. He lost his father to the 1916 flu. In 1916, Italy was struck by a severe flu pandemic that took the lives of both Enzo Ferrari's father, Alfredo Ferrari Sr., and his older brother, Alfredo Jr. Enzo himself fell ill during the 1918 epidemic and became dangerously ill, almost succumbing to the disease. Fortunately, he was released from the army and sent home to recover, which he eventually did. The 1918 flu pandemic had a devastating impact on the world, claiming the lives of over 500 million people globally. Enzo Ferrari was fortunate to have recovered from the illness, given the pandemic's catastrophic effects. 5. He suffered from claustrophobia. Enzo Ferrari was known for leading a private life, despite his fame. He rarely granted interviews and seldom ventured outside his homes in Modena and Maranello. Enzo only left his house on rare occasions, such as to attend the Grand Prix at Monza or to resolve a dispute between FISA and FOCA in Paris in 1982. In addition, Enzo had never flown on an airplane, traveled to Rome, or even stepped into an elevator. His fear of confined spaces, or claustrophobia, prevented him from entering tight spaces such as airplanes and elevators. 6. The last car he personally approved was the F40. The Ferrari F40 is a mid-engine, rear-wheel drive sports car launched in 1987. It was the successor to the 288 GTO and was designed to celebrate Ferrari's 40th anniversary. But most importantly, it was the very last Ferrari automobile to receive Enzo Ferrari's personal approval before his death in August 1988. It was designed for the road but born for the track and, somehow, the starting point for some of the most exciting cars in GT and endurance racing. With only 400 units built, the F40 were sold for a retail price of around $400,000, making them the most expensive Ferrari at that time. 7. He started racing at the age 20. Enzo Ferrari started racing in his late 20s, but he had dreamed about it since he was 10 years old. This motive was spurred by watching his first race in 1908 at the Circuito di Bologna and swore to his father that he would become a racing driver. After losing his father and brother, he joined Costruzioni Meccaniche Nazionali as a test driver. Enzo worked in their factory, scrapping trucks into small cars, and was then offered a chance to race their 15-horsepower open-wheeled racer. A few years later, he left CMN and joined Alfa Romeo as a mechanic and racer, where he started the legendary racing team, Scuderia Ferrari. 8 Aerodynamics are for people who can't build engines. Enzo Ferrari made a notable comment in 1960 in response to driver Paul Frere's inquiry about the limited top speed of the Ferrari 250 TR at Le Mans. Enzo quipped, "Aerodynamics are for people who can't build engines." Enzo was a man who never shied away from answering anything. He meant that a powerful engine made aerodynamics unnecessary. However, Enzo's perspective appeared to have evolved over the years, as the Ferrari F40 became one of the most aerodynamically efficient cars of its time. 9. He deeply mourned the death of Gilles Villeneuve. Gilles Villeneuve is widely regarded as one of the greatest racing car drivers of all time. He competed in 67 Grand Prix races and spent the last 6 years of his career racing for Ferrari in Grand Prix racing. Unfortunately, his remarkable career came to an abrupt end due to a horrific crash during the 1982 Belgian Grand Prix. Villeneuve died from injuries sustained during the crash, which occurred at a speed of 139 miles per hour. The tragic event deeply affected Enzo Ferrari, who kept portraits of Gilles in all his homes and offices. 10. The Ferrari emblem has a glorious history. The history of the iconic Ferrari logo, the black prancing horse on a yellow background, is fascinating. During World War I, the prancing horse was the personal emblem of Italy's most celebrated fighter pilot, Francesco Baracca, who painted it on his plane. Although Baracca was killed in 1918, his legacy continued for years. A few years after his death, Enzo Ferrari met Baracca's mother, who suggested that he use the horse logo on his cars for good luck. Enzo gracefully accepted the idea, changing the logo's white background to bright yellow to represent his hometown of Modena. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and let us know in the comments. Did you know all that about Enzo Ferrari? Hit the like button, subscribe and share it to support our channel, made from Ferrari lovers, for Ferrari lovers, always.